everybody. My name is Gabriel, one of the members of the Spiritual Millionairez movement. And today we want to start a segment where we're going to share some things that we all probably struggle with or pretty much just have a certain type of knowledge about it. And this segment is not so much to give our opinion on the matter, but to share what we have come to understand, which the Bible teaches on the matter. And if you guys would like, we would like for you guys to give us a feedback on what you think from what we're about to share. And we want you guys to sort of not just listen to it, but analyze it, try to personalize it, and if you can, just do a self-inventory so that way you can pretty much give us your opinion, not based on what you think, because like I already said, we're not giving our opinion. We are sharing what the Bible teaches on certain things. For example, this world is facing a very deceptive era, which a lot of people don't recognize because they only know one side of many things. And one of the things that we're going to talk about starting today is about love. A lot of people think love is one way because they only know that one way, but to everything there's two sides. To black there's white, to any diamond there's a crystal. So to any legitimate thing there is a counterfeit system. And that's sort of what we are going to try to share with you guys when it comes to love, because love also has a real side and a counterfeit side to it. And it's not unless you see both sides of it that you will realize which side have you most likely been interacting with the most. A lot of people might say, well, I know love, but I personally can tell you, I'm 30 years old right now, and I personally can tell you that it wasn't until I was 26 years old that I realized that I never loved anybody. Now that's a deep statement right there, because we all say we love somebody. We all say, I love you, mom, I love you, dad. We all say, I love you to a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband or wife, son or daughter. But yet, it's not until you look at the real meaning of what love is that you then, by doing a self-inventory on how you have loved, that you realize that you probably never really loved. Now, the Bible teaches in the book of John, chapter 8, verse 32, and that's in the New Testament, that when you know the truth shall set you free. Now, this concept right here is very interesting because we think of freedom more of in a matter of not being incarcerated. But in reality, we are slaves, or we are incarcerated in our own mind, in our own concepts. And it's not until we know the truth that we can be free from deception. Now, it also teaches in the same book of John, the same chapter 8, but in verse 44, that the devil is the father of all lies. The devil is the father of all lies. He has been a liar since the beginning. So then if the devil is the father of all lies, then who is the father of truth? Well, when we look at it in the book of John, chapter 14 and verse 6, Jesus says, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. Nobody will come to the Father unless it's through me. So that means that once you get to know Jesus, you will get to know truth. And he will set you free from whatever deceptive concept the enemy might want to be pushing up on you. Now, when it comes to love, all right, like I already said, we all have said this at some point in our lives. I love you. But what is love? You see, the Bible teaches in the book of 1 John, chapter 4 and verse 8, that whoever does not know love is because they don't know God, for God is love. Now, it doesn't say that God is loving or that God loves. It says that he is the very definition of love. Now, that's a very deep concept right there, because most of us don't want to know about God. And it's because we have this concept of God as, just going to church or listening to a priest or putting money on a plate. Like, we have this image of God that is a counterfeit image of who God is not. You see, God is love. But because of everything that most of us experience in life, or what we see outside, which the devil is the one behind all of it, okay, he pushes us to think that God is unjust, that God doesn't love, that God is a vengeful God, when he is not. God is merciful. God is love. And God has done something for all of us to be able to today still breathe and rejoice in everything that he has blessed us with. Now, when we look in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 13, we can see there certain characteristics that love has, which is something that all of us should sort of do a self-inventory in order to see if we really have love. Now, in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7, it says right there clearly that love suffers long and is kind. That love does not envy. Now, let's pause there for a second, all right? It suffers long and is kind. In other words, love is patient. Have you ever been impatient with somebody that you said, I love you to? If you have, then you haven't really experienced or projected real love, because it doesn't say that love suffers long and is kind sometimes. It just says that love suffers long and is kind, period. That's what it is. It doesn't change. You see, the Bible teaches in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6, that God does not change. And if God is love, that means that love does not change. Interesting thing to just keep in the back of the mind. Love does not envy, but yet have we envied anything sometimes? From somebody that we say we love? It might be a friend that we might say, oh yeah, I love everything that you do. Oh man, that new car that you got, or this and it's like, you know what? Sometimes we disguise our envy with love, when in reality we're just envying. We need to be careful with those things. It says that love does not parade itself. It's not puffed up. It is not rude, and it does not seek its own will. In other words, love is not cocky. Love is all about, it's not about me. It's about you. What do you need? Are you okay? Do you need anything? But this is legitimate love, all right, without self-interest. Most of us do things in order to get other things in return. And this is why we are living in a world right now where we are so skeptical of loving, because we have this concept in the back of our mind that nobody can do nothing without wanting something in return. But yet, if God is in my heart and his love is reflected in my life, then guess what? The person who I'm loving can be sure that whatever I do it not out of interest, but because I legitimately want to do what's right, and I want to help them better themselves. I have a friend of mine that I recently helped move, and I'm not going to say the name because it's not about names. It's not about talking about me. It's not about none of that. But it's the concept itself. I helped this friend out. I helped him move, and he wanted to give me some money. And I understand that he wanted to give me some money in order to appreciate my help. But I told him, listen, brother, you're my boy. You're like family. I'm not going to charge you. All right? I just want to help you out. And yeah, we in tax season. Everybody, don't got a couple dollars, especially if you got kids, But guess what? that's not what God put in the back of my mind. You know, God didn't put in the back of my mind, you know what, this is a opportunity right here so that you can make some extra change outside of work. No. He just said, help a brother out because he needs you. And guess what? I did it, and I don't feel some type of way about it. Now, the devil tried to put that thought in the back of my mind. Well, why don't you just take the money, man? You know, you could use it. But guess what? God will bless me beyond that just by me reflecting this kindness out of love. You know? Now, let's continue. It says that love does not provoke, and it doesn't think no evil. In other words, it doesn't stir things up. It does not rejoice in iniquity. Iniquity, in other words, is it doesn't rejoice in bad things. Like, let's say, for example, you see somebody just doing something wrong to somebody else. Like we see nowadays, worldstarhiphop.com, you see on YouTube just people slapping people up and they just record it and they don't do nothing about it. They just laugh at it. They're rejoicing in evil, and that is not good. We need to, it's not so much about, you know what, I'm going to try to go up and there and break up a fight, because you need to think of your own, you know, well-being as well. You don't know who may have a knife, you don't know who may have a gun, and you don't want to put your life in jeopardy either. But if you're there and you're seeing that type of stuff go down, why don't you try to find some help? Why don't you try to find a cop? Why don't you call 911 and say, listen, you know, I see somebody here beating up some kids and nobody's doing nothing about it. Can you come check it out because somebody could get hurt? You know, why can't we do that? You know, why are we so prone to be attractive to drama and all this evilness? It continues to say that love bears all things, not some things. Bears. It means that, you know what? It withstands whatever comes this way. It doesn't matter how bad it is. I will bear it. All things. It says that love believes all things. It hopes all things. And it endures all things. Now, I don't know if you've noticed. You probably have. But, you know, like I said, the world, the enemy has made it, you know, such a joke right now that it doesn't even matter. But how many of us are seeing so many marriages just break away? I mean, you don't even see people passing 2-3 years. People are breaking up in a matter of months after they break up. It doesn't matter how much money they spend in their wedding, they still break it off because they seem to not be able to stay faithful to one another. They seem to not be able to stop thinking about themselves. And yet, you see that when you are up there getting married, you say, you know what? I do accept this person as my partner for life. But yet, what they really mean is I do only in the good times. Because when it gets rough, I'm just going to walk away. That's what's happening. Maybe it's happening in your household. Maybe you've seen it happen in your family. Maybe you know a friend that might be going through something like that. But guess what? The key is because there is too much selfishness going on. So now, these are only few key points that I've been able to find in the Bible as far as what love truly is. So after looking into that, I recognize that I never really loved until now. And I don't fully perfectly love now because I get impatient sometimes. I am rude at times. But based on knowledge, the knowledge helps me recognize when I am a little bit off in the way that I'm supposed to love. And the knowledge is what helps me recognize it and ask for forgiveness when I am a little off. When I am a little rude to my wife, when I'm a little rude to my son, when I'm a little rude to my friends. And I don't want that. So if you feel as though you can identify with some of the stuff that we are sharing in this video, just place a comment. If there's something that you think, okay, that is a little off, biblically speaking, because like I said, it's not based on our opinion, it's all based on what the word says. If you feel as though we're a little off in what we are sharing, biblically speaking, please do us a favor and study with us. I'm not talking about come to my house, because you might be in another state watching this video, but place your comment, place the verse that you think expands a little bit more on the matter that we're sharing with you. We're supposed to all help each other out to become better people in order to build a better world. Now, we understand that Jesus is coming back soon. A lot of people, they may want to reject that idea. They may want to ignore that idea. But just because you may not want to accept an idea doesn't mean that it's not true or it will not come. The weatherman might tell you that it might rain tomorrow, and you may not want to believe it and walk outside of your house without an umbrella. But guess what? It's not going to stop the rain from coming down. So, Jesus is coming back soon. And it's up to us to make a choice to either get to know him in order to be able to welcome him or to reject it. You have the free will to accept it or reject it. Now, this is all for now for our first video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got the best of it. And like I said, just share a comment, share it with your friends. God bless you, and until next time.
And when I am alone, oh, and when I am alone, and when I am alone, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus.